Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 12 o'clock on a Sunday. It's time for a Q&A. Now, this is where I take all the questions that you've asked over the course of the week and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. Couple of things. First of all, thank you very much for everybody that's watched Magic TV this week. If you've even just watched one video, I really appreciate you. Second of all, thank you to all of the things that people have said about the Nightshade coin set. I really appreciate it and I'm so glad you guys are enjoying that. Third of all, please don't forget that I get these Q&As normally filmed on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So if you want to guarantee to get your questions answered, you want to put them in by a Tuesday or the Wednesday at the absolute latest. If I miss your question, I'm very sorry. Ask it down below and I'll get to it next week. And finally, you're getting my raw, unfiltered opinions with these. I don't really think about it beforehand. If I see a question that I think has more kind of substance, I'll do it as a video at some point in the future and I'll do an entire video about it. But with that all being said, it's time now to get into this week's Q&A. Okay, so the first question is from Divishan Magician, who says, do you do bottle through the table? If so, where did you learn it? Because the gimmick doesn't come with instructions. Now, a lot of the time, the gimmicks don't come with instructions. Couple of people that are known for doing bottle through table really well. The first is Tom Wright. I believe he might have done bottle through table on his stand-up magic DVD from World Magic Shop, but don't quote me on that, although he does do it and it looks excellent when he does. But the person that's kind of most synonymous with bottle through table is Faye Presto. And Faye did a kind of a hands-on lecture at the Magic Circle all about bottle through table. Now, I know you're in the Young Magicians Club. I don't think she's done anything there, but I believe her Penguin Live has bottle through table on it. So you might want to look at the bottle through table Penguin Live. And also Tony Clark put a DVD out all about bottle through table many, many years ago. That's probably available as a download now. But he was doing it as an illusion going through someone's stomach. So he would have somebody lie down in between two chairs on stage and he'd push it through their body. Or he'd push it through the body from behind or something like that. But yeah, Tony Clark is someone you want to look into as well. But realistically, the best person to ask is Faye Presto because there's nobody that does bottle through table better than Faye, and she's got the real work on it. So I'd speak to Faye. Okay, so the next question is from Divishan Magician again, who says, will you ever learn multiple card out of back palm, split fans, etc.? No, it's not something I'm interested in. The one thing that I've never really done is manipulation, like stage manipulation. I do a multiplying balls act ish kind of thing that's designed for close-up, although I'm not great at it, but I do a multiplying balls act. I do a lot of the more classical coin productions and so on and so forth, and but I don't do anything with card manipulations. Now, Ryland does. Ryland's learning card manipulation, so I'm sitting there watching him learn from the Jeff McBride DVD set and learning split fans and all that sort of stuff. But it's something that I've never learned. I mean, you might want to speak to Harry Piper because obviously I know you're in the Young Magicians Club, and Harry Piper did an exceptional act when he won Young Magician of the Year, and he used a lot of card manipulation. So he probably has more experience and knowledge and that sort of thing than me, but I always go to the same place. You know, if you're wanting to learn that sort of stuff, the two people that I would speak to is Sean McCree and Jeff McBride. Okay, so the next person is Rowan Clear, who says, hi Craig, I've just had my first negative experience with someone in the magic community on Facebook, of course. I comment on some guy's video in a Facebook group saying the editing is too much, screen shaking, in and out zooming to an extent that it gave me an actual headache. And he blows up at me and says, I have the worst bottom deal I've ever seen, calls me a moron, an asshole, a scumbag, makes comments about my weight, etc., etc. I know you get a lot of these people, so I wanted to ask how you usually deal with this. And really, why are these people so full of anger and where do they come from? Well, I was so full of anger at one point, buddy. You know, I don't know. The problem with Facebook and the problem with the magic community, not everybody, but a certain percentage, is there is a certain amount of jealousy. You just hear it and you see it all of the time. You know, the amount of competitions I've been in or gala shows I've been in, and I've sat behind a row of magicians and they've said, oh, I could do better than that. I don't know why I'm not on that stage. And, you know, I've seen it over and over again. I remember when Ryland went on the gala show at the Blackpool Magic Convention, and the first act, there was a technical problem with the cube wall, which is not his fault, but there was a technical problem, and he covered it really well, to be perfectly honest, but there was still a technical problem. And, you know, in the Beat the One competition a little bit later on, people were slagging a 9-year-old off, just slagging him off. This is a kid that had the balls to go on stage in front of thousands of magicians and perform that act, and they were ridiculing him. And, you know, that's the sort of people that we're dealing with in the magic community. The problem is, some people will post videos and they don't really want constructive feedback. They want to have you tell them how brilliant they are. And if you're not, you know, if you're not going in with the same narrative that they want to hear, ultimately what's going to happen is they're going to attack back at you. So, you know, my advice on this would, if you see somebody's video on Facebook, in a Facebook group or something, you go, hey, you just reply and say, do you want my honest opinion? And if they go, yeah, I want your honest opinion, then say, hey, it gave me a headache, blah, 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 blah. And you're giving him your honest opinion. And then the person can't say anything to you. And the bottom line is, if they're slagging off your, you know, calling you a moron and an asshole and a scumbag and making comments on your weight, this is somebody who's just probably jealous. You know, I have people turn around to me all the time and saying I'm the worst creator in the planet. Hello, Creator of the Year 2 years in a row. Best-selling product for both Penguin, Murphy's and Alakazam. But still people will say that. People say, oh, Craig's a terrible performer. Craig's not successful. Craig's this, Craig's that. And, you know, it used to get to me. And sometimes I still let it get to me when I'm in a bad mood. But generally, as a rule, you know, I'm namaste as fuck about this sort of stuff. I really am. Because if somebody's going to go down that route and say, oh, you know, you're this, you're that, you're the other, just because you made a comment on a video, well, pity them, you know, because at the end of the day, they're pathetic, right? You know, they really are. And, you know, you got the worst bottom deal in the world. Hello, you don't need a bottom deal to be an exceptionally good magician. And anybody who thinks that you do, hello, you know, wake up and smell the coffee. You're a dickhead. So, you know, don't let it bother you, man. Don't let it bother you. I know it's hard to say, and it's advice I've been given, and I've sat here and I've had people say to me, oh, don't let it bother you. And I've sat here and I've thought, well, they don't know it. But, you know, namaste as fuck. That's what you got to be. Because at the end of the day, if people are talking about you behind your back, or people are saying stuff about you, who cares? At the end of the day, you know, just as long as you believe that you've said the right thing, and as long as you believe that you're doing the best job that you can do, you know, pity them. Okay, we have a couple of questions from Andy Putt. Let's see if we can go for this. You mentioned a while ago that you would make a video about the hows and whys on competitions and also the technical possibilities. I know you're a busy guy, but when do you think this video is coming out? Hopefully by the end of the year, but if not January. December is the busiest time of the year for me. I've been in the office all day today, training new recruits and Non-Stop Kids. And then I'm filming this. I'm filming a ton of content tonight till about 1 in the morning. Then tomorrow I'm in the office until I leave for Covent Garden for a gig in London. Then I get back on Thursday. I'm in the office all day until I leave to go to an illusion show in Guildford. Then I'm back in the office and on the Friday until the afternoon. Then I've got 2 close-up jobs, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. Then on Saturday I've got an illusion show in London in the morning, and then I've got another illusion show in Swindon, in the evening. Then I've got another illusion show and a close-up job on Sunday. Then I'm back in the office on Monday. It's mental at the moment for me, and I'm trying to squeeze in everything that I can, but Christmas is mental for everybody, right? I think I was in the office today in between training, and I think somebody said we've got like something like 3,000 to 4,000 gigs in December. It's a busy one. So I'm going to try. I know exactly how I make these videos is I start off by writing down what I want to say and I make points, and then I actually do them. And I've got to that point where it's ready to film. It's just when I get round to it. So it'll either be this month or January, but I'm going to do a shorter video, like maybe half an hour, 40 minutes for Magic TV, and then a much longer video for the Netrix, expanding on several of the points. But there you go. It will be coming out soon. Okay, so the next question is, again, from Andy Putt, who says, now you're bringing out Mirage and Nightshade with massive updates. I have a question if you're going to do the same thing with your coin DVDs, like Flipped Out and Split Happens. I don't know if World Magic Shop has the rights or if you can do something like that as an Alakazam Academy. So a lot of the stuff that's with Flipped Out was my DVD on the Flipper coin, and a lot of stuff that's A lot of the stuff that went on Flipped Out has been filmed for a coin project with Penguin. So a couple of years ago, I filmed a flip a coin project with Penguin. Updated handlings of all of the routines I've Flipped Out, plus multiple new handlings with live performances for everything. It hasn't come out yet, and one of the reasons is they're sourcing a flip a coin. You know, because they want to supply a flip a coin with this and they want to make it the best one that they can. So it's been held up, but I've done everything from my end. In terms of Split Happens, because of the gaffes that you get with Nightshade, some of the routines from Nightshade are expanded routines with the split coin from the Split Happens DVD set. So Split Happens will never see the light of day. That's kind of been amalgamated into the Nightshade coin set. The only other coin project that I did back in the day was the coin bag, and I've been playing around with the premise and modernizing it, shall we say, and we're probably 2 or 3 years out from anything happening with that, but I'm looking into it. So yeah, I mean, the bottom line is yes, there is another old Craig Petty release from many years ago that one day will see the light of day again. And it was one of my first releases, but it was really popular. And I'm just looking at a way to having it redone. And when I do, I think this one's going to be a big one. So look out for it. It's coming. It's coming. Okay, so the next question is again from Andy Putt, who says, what's your top 5 Craig Petty 2023 releases in order? I know it's like choosing from a favourite kid, but I'm curious. I can imagine that an updated release of a project such as Nightshade after 10 years, or Cube 52, that was such a massive contribution for many forms of magic higher on the list than others. If you want to do a video on this subject in January when all your 2023 releases have been released, I will also understand. Man alive. Look, I am going to do a video on this, but and this might change between now and the video because you're putting me on the list. You're putting me on the you're putting me you know, kind of on the spot here. But so this might change, but I would say at number 5 it would be ED Seat. I love ED Seat. I carry it with me in my wallet. I've got 4 versions. Every Magic wallet I have has an ED Seat in it. I just love ED Seat. I really do. So ED Seat would be at number 5. Number 4. Bloody hell. Number 4 would be... Number 4 would be the, okay, yeah. Number 4 would be Ticket to Ride, which is the train ticket trick that I bought out through Alakazam. Again, great everyday carry for me. I have that in every gig, and I have that with me all of the time. So 5 would be ED Seat, 4 would be Ticket to Ride, 3 would be Apparition, the Apparition coin set. Which I think is such a strong... I carry it with me everywhere. I've got it right here. I always have it on me. There it is. Apparition. Boom. Number 2 would be Cube 52, which, you know, so many people have said that it's their favourite trick that I've ever done, and that it changed the game for them when it came to Cube Magic. And number 1, I think, would be Nightshade. Yeah. For the simple reason that, again, I've been working on this for 15 years and it's the biggest project I've done. It's even bigger than Cube 52 and I'm so proud of all the material in there. So yeah, 5 would be ED Seat, 4 would be Ticket to Ride, 3 would be Apparition, 2 would be Cube 52 and 1 would be the Nightshade coin set. But let me know what yours are down below. Okay, so the next question is MCK Magic, who says, hi, Craig, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you very much, buddy. My question is, how do you recommend improving videos for social media? It kind of very much depends on what you're wanting the videos to do. What you're wanting them to do. What's your purpose for posting these videos on social media? So I have multiple different, you know, like places where I produce content. Magic TV is specifically for magicians. You know, it's designed for me to communicate with magicians about stuff that I think is important. So with Magic TV, you know, I mean, we've improved a lot since the beginning. You know, at the beginning, we were just, you know, sitting at a ropey table. You know, but yeah, I mean, a lot of the time when people say they want to produce videos for social media, it's because they want to raise their profile. But why do you want to raise your profile? Like, so for example, my company, Slightly Unusual, produces videos to promote Slightly Unusual as a brand. So that's important because when people search for a magician and they find Slightly Unusual, what will typically happen is that, you know, let's say they're looking for a magician and they've found 3 or 4 companies or 3 or 4 magicians, and one of those is Slightly Unusual. By having an active social media account, it means that when people are searching for us, it's good social proof. It shows that we're busy. It shows that we're busy working. So a lot of the time, it's Slightly Unusual. You're seeing just reels and videos going up of us performing tricks and reactions from events and stuff like that. So, but if you're a creator like a Chris James or somebody, you want to put videos up showing how you can take other props and change them around and do stuff that's very different to magicians. So it's kind of like, what do you want to achieve out of producing videos on social media? I typically find, and I've talked about this many years ago, but I talk about 5 C's. I think there's 5 C's that you should think about whenever you're producing any video content, for whatever reason you're producing it. And the first is content. Make sure it's interesting content. Think about what the audience is. Think about who the people are that are going to be consuming these videos and what type of content they want to see, and make sure it's the type of content that they would listen to. All right, so content is first. The second one is charisma. You know, come across as charismatic, especially as you're a magician. You know, I've seen magicians' videos before on social media and they go, "Hi, my name is Craig and I am going to show you a trick with a thumb." And it's kind of really boring. You know, if you're marketing yourself as a magician or as a performer, make sure that it's charismatic. It doesn't have to be you speaking. It could be music over the top, but make sure it's interesting. Make sure it's charismatic. Make sure you're coming across as somebody that's interesting. So content, charisma. You want to make sure that you've got a call to action as well. Think about why you're doing this video. Think about why you're doing any video. What's your call to action? So for Slightly Unusual, the call to action is, hey, if you want to book a magician for your event, contact us. The call to action for somewhere like Magic TV is, hey, have you joined the Netrix? Or have you bought my latest trick? Or you subscribe to the YouTube channel, whatever it may be. Ryland's got a very strong following on Facebook and Instagram. And his call to action is pretty much, hey, you know, follow me for more. You know, he just wants people to subscribe to his Facebook page or whatever. So think about what the reason is. I think that's really important. And the way you can produce all videos, the way you can improve all videos is by thinking about what it is that you're producing it with. Like, can you get a better camera? Can you get a better mic? Can you get a better studio? But don't let that stop you from producing the content. And what I mean by that is, you know, I see so many people and they make an excuse. Oh, I would do YouTube, but I need to wait for this. I would do YouTube, but I need to wait for that. I need to wait till I've got a good camera. I need to wait till I've got a good mic. I need to wait until I've got an idea for a video. When's the best time to post a video? Right now. Well, the best time was a year ago, really, to be perfectly honest. When's the second best time? Right now. Don't procrastinate. Don't leave it. Because the bottom line is, when you first start posting videos, nobody will watch them. Nobody. And it takes a thick skin to get good at social media, because when Magic TV first came out, nobody was watching it. And then it's took years to get to the point where we've got a few people watching it. So that's good. So, yeah, that's probably the best piece of advice I can give you. Don't give up. Okay, so the next question is from Sour Citrus Fruit, who says, some questions, right? Number 1, I realized that on Ryland's Instagram recently, I think in the notes, he credits the creator of the performed trick and shouts out the store to find it, but doesn't put down the name of the trick. Reasoning, please? Is this for crediting while avoiding exposure? You know, I've had people in the past say to me, why is Ryland posting the name of the creator on the or the name of the shop that he's bought it on in his videos? Why is that? Is that, you know, he's doing exposure? And I've talked about exposure on this YouTube channel before. I really don't think that's exposure. I really don't. If somebody is watching one of Ryland's videos and then goes and looks at what he's written underneath the videos and realizes it's by a guy, for example, like Henry Harrius and then finds Henry Harrius and buys the trick and then goes and buys it and learns it, then more power to him. That person is not a layperson at that point. That's somebody who spent time and effort and money tracking down a trick that he saw a kid do that he really, really likes. You know, and Ryland does it because he's a kid at the end of the day, and he likes to shout out the names of his favorite creators. You know, when he performs a trick by Henry Harrius, who's one of his favorite magicians, he wants to tag Henry in and say, oh, this is a trick by Henry Harrius, I love this trick. When he performs a trick by Gustavo O'Reilly, who's another one that he really likes, he goes, hey, I've just done this by Gustavo O'Reilly, I really like it. It's just because, you know, he enjoys performing magic, he enjoys learning magic, and he wants to let the creator know that he spent time and effort working on that trick. In terms of not putting the name of the trick, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I think it's probably because of exposure, maybe. I don't know, although he has the same sort of attitude as me, which is if someone's going to buy a trick, you know, what's the difference between him putting a video up there and somebody using it to find the name of a trick and then buying it, and then watching a review show and buying it based off a review show, or finding a trailer for a magic trick and buying it based off the trailer? You know, I don't think that that's exposure, really, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, in terms of not putting the name of the trick, I'm not too sure. Okay, so the next question is again from Sour Citrus Fruit. It says, offshoot from Angelo Carbone's question, I know Keymaster was done with Penguin. Yes. But I bought it from Vanishing Ink. How does the business side work there? Does Penguin strike a deal with other companies and want to sell that trick? So basically, within the magic industry, there is a wholesaler. There's wholesalers. Now, right, okay. I should do a video about this, but let's just keep it very, very basic for now. There's the end user. That's you. And then there's the magic dealer or the magic shop where you're buying the trick from. Then there is the wholesaler, which is the place that the magic dealer or the magic shop is buying the tricks from. And then there's the magic producer who's created the trick and sold it to the wholesaler. So for example, let me give you an example. I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, let's think of an example. Julio Monturo creates a new trick. Okay, or Matthew Wright. I recently reviewed Visions 2.0. Let's use Matthew as an example. Matthew Wright is a producer. He does not have a magic shop. Matthew Wright produces a trick. He sells the trick to Murphy's. Murphy's is the biggest wholesaler in the world. Murphy's then take a cut. They pay Matthew Wright for X amount of units. That will be between Matthew and Murphy's. Murphy's will then sell that trick to the magic shop, and they'll take a certain cut, and then the magic shop will sell it to the end user, and they'll have that money, which will offset what they've paid Murphy's. So let's say, and these aren't the real figures, but let's say, for example, there's a £50 trick. Murphy's have took £20 of that £50, so that when the magic shop sells it to the end user, they've made £30 because they originally paid £20 to Murphy's to buy the trick, but they've sold for £50. That's £30 left over, right? That's how magic producer sells it to a wholesaler. Wholesaler sells it to a magic shop sells it to an end user. Now, where it gets a little bit tricky sometimes is that there are magic producers who are also magic shops. So, for example, Saturn Magic is a magic shop, but it's also a magic producer. Some of the stuff that it produces, it doesn't sell to anyone. It keeps it for itself. But other tricks that Saturn produce, they'll sell those to Murphy's. And if they sell those to Murphy's, Murphy's will sell them to every single other magic shop. There are magic producers that refuse to sell their tricks to Murphy's for a variety of different reasons. Alakazam, for example. Alakazam years ago used to sell their trick to Murphy's. Now they don't. So when Alakazam bring out a trick, it's only available from a few different places because they don't sell it to Murphy's. Murphy's is where all the magic shops around the world buy their tricks from. So Alakazam, typically you can only get it from Alakazam. Now Alakazam do have a small dealer network that wholesale with each other, which includes places like Stevens Magic and Magic Dream and Global Magic and a few other, Dynamite Magic and a few others. But generally as a rule, when Alakazam bring out a trick, you're only going to get it from Alakazam. Why do Alakazam not put it in Murphy's? That doesn't make any sense. Because if Alakazam put it into Murphy's, Murphy's would pay them. They'd sell more, right? But you sell more at a massively reduced cost. Because Murphy's want to make money on it as well. So they have to buy it at a cheaper rate. So you sell it to Murphy's a lot less. You're still making money, and not as much money if you'd sell it yourself. So Alakazam's point of view is, if I sell it directly, we're going to have more people coming to us because the only place you can get it from is us. If I sell it to Murphy's, you can get it from your local magic shop. Right. So now to your question, because there's other wholesalers. It's not just Murphy's. Murphy's is the biggest wholesaler, but Penguin Magic is a wholesaler as well. Anything that Penguin releases, it will wholesale. And anybody can buy wholesale from Penguin if you want to. You just have to create a wholesale account with Penguin, and you have to prove that you've got a magic shop and whatever. So in the case of Keymaster, Penguin produced Keymaster, and then one of Penguin's customers is Vanishing Ink. So Vanishing Ink bought X amount of Keymasters from Penguin, paid Penguin a certain amount for those keys, for the Keymasters, and then sold them to people like you, and they kept the difference as a profit. This is where it gets really confusing, really, in a way, because Vanishing Ink are a competitor to Penguin, because they're both magic shops and they're both selling the same thing. They're both wholesale from Murphy's. But also, Vanishing Ink is actually a customer of Penguin, because Penguin wholesale their stuff to Vanishing Ink. Vanishing Ink is not a customer of Vanishing Ink isn't a customer of Penguin, because Vanishing Ink don't wholesale their things directly to other shops. But Vanishing Ink do sell their tricks do wholesale their stuff to Murphy's. So Murphy's can So Penguin will carry Vanishing Ink stuff, but not directly. They'll carry them through Murphy's. So Vanishing Ink will produce a product and say, here you are, Murphy's, buy this product from us. Murphy's will then sell it to every single magic shop around the world, one of which is Penguin, who will then sell it. So Vanishing Ink will sell Penguin stuff, Penguin will sell Vanishing Ink stuff, but Vanishing Ink will get the stuff from Penguin directly, whilst Penguin will get the stuff from Vanishing Ink via Murphy's. Now, when you talk about Murphy's, probably two of the biggest wholesalers are Penguin, because Penguin produce so much magic, and Murphy's. Now, Penguin are nowhere near the size of Murphy's when it comes to being a wholesaler, but they are the biggest magic shop in the world. So Penguin are a massive customer of Murphy's, because Murphy's sell all of their stuff to all the magic shops, and one of those magic shops is Penguin. So Penguin's probably their biggest customer, but Penguin's also their biggest competitor, because they're probably the second biggest wholesaler outside of Murphy's. And a lot of people will choose, magic shops can't carry everything, so some magic shops will go, well, I'm not going to buy that from Murphy's, I'm going to buy that from Penguin. So it's really weird that Penguin and Murphy's are actually competitors, but also Penguin is a customer of Murphy's. And then you've got Illusionists, who are a little bit like Penguin in that Illusionists used to put their stuff through Murphy's. Now they don't. Now they put their stuff directly through to magic shops, but they also sell it themselves through their own website. It's all very confusing. All you need to know, and I've really gone into this in way more depth than I thought I was going to, is that the reason that the business side of things works there is Penguin produced a trick, wholesaled it to Vanishing Ink, and Vanishing Ink sold that product to you. You paid Vanishing Ink what you paid for it. Vanishing Ink, in order to sell that trick, paid a certain amount to Penguin to get that trick to be able to sell it on their site. And that is the business of magic. Good God. Okay, so the next question is Hugard8860, who says, my friend recently forgot his silver dollars during his last visit to my house. He mentioned that I could use them until we see each other again. I've now returned them, but using the $half just doesn't feel right now. So my question is, where's the cheapest place I can get my hands on silver Morgan dollars? Thanks in advance. If you want a pure silver Morgan dollar, and you don't want to have like a shell set or something, you just want the heart of the Morgan dollars, the best place to go is to look on go into coin shops, antique coin shops. You'll find Morgan dollars probably quite cheap, because they don't really know what they've got their hands on sometimes. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Or go on coin collectors' websites and eBay, places like that. If you're not bothered about having a set, now if you want a set, you've got to go to somewhere like Jamie Schoolcraft or Alakazam or Mark Mason or something like that. But if you're not worried about that and you just want to have some Morgan silver dollars, I would scour the internet and look for them and buy one from there that's quite cheap, one from there that's quite cheap, until you've got as many as you need. Okay, so the next question is from Keegan Emmett, who says, hi Craig, question for you. I'm currently working in a restaurant thanks to your tips and tricks. Recently I spoke with You're welcome. Recently, I spoke with the management who seem to like me being there. However, they want to make sure that having me there helps to drum up business for them. Currently, I'm working a busy night for them, but what techniques have you used in the past that help people to get more people in through the door? My goal is to try and sway people into telling their friends to come in on a slower night to get a chance to see me there, even though right now that's not the case. Any sort of marketing tips and strategies that you think could help me out? Thanks. So yeah, I mean, a couple of different things. Number one, promoting it through your own social media. If you've got a big social media following, especially in your local area, use that, leverage that, put a video out going, hey, Craig here, just to let you know, I'm going to be at this restaurant Friday night. I'm going to be putting some new material into my act. I can't wait to see you there. If you want to see some incredible magic, I'm going to be there from 7 till 9 o'clock. Come on over and check it out. It's going to be amazing. Put stories up there, put reels up there, put videos up there, put posts up there. One, it's great content. It'll help grow your social media and it'll show you're busy. It's great social proof. But two, if you tag the restaurant in or the place you're working, they can see that you're promoting them as well. And half of it is visibility and letting them see that you're doing that. And three, it might actually work and get people in through the door. So that's the first thing. Second of all, when get yourself into local Facebook groups. Typically everywhere there's local Facebook groups that you can join, and join a local Facebook group to the area in which you're wanting in the area which your restaurant's in, and post in there, post in there and go, hey guys, my name's Craig, I'm a magician, just so you know, I work every Friday night at this venue. Here's a video of me performing there from a couple of weeks ago. I'd love to see you coming in, come on by, and look in these Facebook groups for people asking questions. Frequently you're going to have, what should I do on a Friday night that's fun to do around here, and be proactive and answer those questions and tag the restaurant in. All that sort of stuff works really well. Also, have an email list. If people have subscribed to your email list and are happy for you to message them, send them a message at the beginning of the month going, hey guys, just so you know, I'm going to be in this venue on these dates throughout the month at this time. Come and see me. And make sure that one of those emails goes out to the person who's the contact at the restaurant so they can see that you're marketing this on their behalf for them as well. All of that, very, very important. The other thing that you can do is if you've got a good relationship with the actual venue, you can ask them for some discount. You can say, look, I want to give some discount things out, like buy one, get one drink free or something like that. But I want to give them out so that people can only use them when I'm actually in the restaurant. I don't want to magically produce them. I want to maybe get a code that they can use that I can print on the back of a playing card or something. Is there something you can help me with that? Now, they'll have discount codes and discount vouchers that they can generate for you. Absolutely not a problem. And then incorporate that into a trick. I know when I used to work restaurants on a regular basis, I had this trick where I'd have this thing that I'd made on a sticker, an Avery sticker, and I used to just stick them on playing cards. And I'd take blank backed cards and I'd put these stickers on there, and it was a picture of me and a picture, I made it myself on my computer. It was a picture of me, it was a logo of the restaurant, and it was like, hey, buy one, get one free, only when I'm here at the restaurant, Friday, 7 till 9, blah, blah, use this code, blah, blah, blah. And I'd have somebody pick a card, I'd have it second from top, I'd do a riffle force, I'd do a double turnover, and I'd do a riffle force, do a double turnover, get them to sign the card, and I'd apparently cut it into the pack, so they think it's a normal back card, but I'd cut it to the bottom and I'd cop it off, and then I'd go into my back pocket and I'd say, oh, by the way, I've got this in my pocket. If I get this trick wrong, you get to keep the voucher. And I'd give them the voucher hits, buy one, get one free. This is amazing. You can use it any night I'm in. And you go and try and find the card and you fail and you go, oh, you get the voucher, but check this out. The voucher's actually your signed card. And then I give them that, and what would be really cool is they'd show that to the bar staff and then realize that it's a signed card that I've given away. A lot of the time it's just being proactive like that, and giving the restaurant that you're working at the assets that they need to help market you as well. So, they'll have a social media team. Give them some videos or some photos of you performing. Give them some copy that they can use, do a joint blog or something like that. Anything like that will really, half of the battle isn't getting people in through the door. It's showing the restaurant that you're actually being proactive and you're trying to get people in through the door. Okay, so the next question is from Justin Hutchins, who says, hi, Craig, thanks for all the great videos. You're welcome. I have a question. Can you give me a way or a resource for me to vanish 4 coins but still keep them in my hands so they can all reappear at the same time. It's for cylinder and coins routine, which I bought, but I've had no instructions. I've worked the routine out, but I don't know the best way to vanish the coins. There are 4 normal coins, no shell. Thanks. Okay, so luckily I have 4 coins because I saw what the question is. So there's a few different ways of doing this. Let's keep it simple first of all. If you know the French drop, which is holding the coin here and pretending to take it, and really it's over here, I'm sure we all know the French drop. Well, you can do the French drop with 4 coins and it still looks really good. So if you have 4 coins, for example, like these silver dollars, normal dollars actually, and you show them and you do this, it's really good because you hear the sound, listen. But they assume the sound is of the coins dropping into finger palm, but they assume it's the sound of the coins being taken into this hand. The key thing is when you're doing this, not to move this hand. Notice that when I drop the coins, the hand doesn't move. Don't do that and open up the hand, right? Keep this hand completely still. Come over and take the coins. Look over here, focus attention over here, and then drop this hand to the side. So in full speed, it's like, right, I'm going to try and make these 4 coins vanish. That's nice and simple. That's an easy way of doing it. The Viking Vanish by Hroon Klan is a great way to do that. All these are on the Netrix, by the way. On the Netrix, which is my online streaming platform, I have detailed thousands of slides, and there's a whole multiple coin vanish section, which you can look at if you're a member of the Netrix. But the Viking Vanish looks really good, and you get a nice retention as well. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera, but you get a nice retention. So that basically is you show the 4 coins like this, right? And as you turn your hand over, you're curling your middle finger in, and you see that the gaps there in between the coins, it's the gap that's going to make the noise. So you get into that position as you turn your hand over. You put your thumb here at the base of the fingers, and you allow the coins to drop onto the thumb. And then the thumb pushes them back in the hand as you take it away. But because your fingers are slightly open, they see the coins dropping in, they hear them dropping in, and the hand comes away with the 4 coins. So it's like that. So, hey, watch the 4 coins, like that. That's a great one to do as well. I'm using silver dollars. It's very difficult to do it with silver dollars, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it with silver dollars. It's more of a $half thing, but I'll try. It's Derek Dingle's Silent Steel, which is taking the coins and waving your hand over and making the coins vanish. That's Derek Dingle's Silent Steel. So the coins are put here at the Mound of Venus, and you take all 4 of them and silently, it's easier with $half, much easier with $half, but you silently move them into heel clip like that. So they got moved into heel clip. You then come over and you steal them into a Demonchi grip. So you then come over and steal them like this as you wave your hand over, and then you can drop them down into a finger palm in this hand and have them go. The next thing that you could do is you could just have the coins like this, and you could apparently drop the first one into your hand like that. But really you've just pulled it back into right hand finger palm. So you could start off by taking the first coin, drop it into the hand. It's in right hand finger palm. Take the second one, drop it apparently into the hand, which opens briefly to receive it, but really it's going to get thrown against the coin in finger palm. But they hear the sound, and it sounds like the coin hitting the coin in the hand. You then take this one, do exactly the same thing, and then the last one, do exactly the same thing. So in full speed, it looks like this. So you say, look, I've got 4 coins. Here's what I'm going to do. I want you to watch. Coin number 1 goes in the hand. Coin number 2 goes in the hand. Coin number 3 goes in the hand. Coin number 4 goes in the hand. And it's a really nice vanish because you're vanishing them one at a time. And then the only other one you could do is you could do a retention pass, take that coin into classic palm, and do another retention pass, but silently push that coin against the first classic palmed one. Have that one vanish. Take the third one, do a retention pass, silently push that against the classic palmed one. And I'm covering it by pulling up my sleeve. And take the last one and do the exact same thing. So you end up with the 4 coins in classic palm right there. So again, in full speed, the first one goes like this. That's the first one. The second one goes like this. That's the second one. The third one goes like this. That's the third one. And there you go. The last one goes like this. That's the last one. And that's all 4 coins. And then you can like maybe transfer them into the left hand. But yeah, so that's about 4 or 5. There's about 20 or 30 on the Netrix, but that'll give you a starting point. Those are some good ones that you can start with. Okay, so the next question is from 1581 Davis. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Who says, hi, Craig, I purchased Gatekeeper and like it so much I've purchased Keymaster. Thank you so much. Question, you say towards the end of Gatekeeper download that there's an explanation for the Shuttle Pass on the download. Oh, Gatekeeper, that should have been in the top 5, shouldn't it? Fools. Anyway, towards the end of the Gatekeeper download, you said there's an explanation for the Shuttle Pass on the download. I've not been able to find it. As you're a great teacher, could you advise where it is or to do a quick explanation? Love your work and thank you. It should be on there. I definitely filmed it. If it's not, let me know and I'll speak to... Well, I'll speak to Penguin anyway. But if you're getting Keymaster, it's definitely on there. But it should have been on Gatekeeper as well. The Shuttle Pass, basically, in essence, is this. It's apparently showing one coin, putting it into this hand, but switching it for a palmed coin over here. So all that's going to happen is your left hand's going to turn palm down. I put my thumb on the coin, but the thumb doesn't go on the coin until the hand starts to turn over. Because the larger action of the hand turning over hides the smaller action of the thumb going on the coin. So you do that as the right hand turns palm up. So you do that. The left hand turns palm down, right hand turns palm up, and give that coin some motion. So you're pushing it to the fingertips and give it some motion. And then the whole thing all together, and then this hand just drops, the thumb moves out of the way, and the hand just naturally rests on the table. So you do it at speed, and it looks like you're showing just one coin and nothing else. And then you can do the Shuttle Pass back if you want to as well. So you can go from here to here to here, and you can practice it by keep going back and forth. And it looks like you're just throwing a coin from one hand to the other, but you're keeping one coin hidden the entire time. That is a Shuttle Pass. I'll check with Penguin because it should be on the Gatekeeper download. Okay, so the next question is from user MO3ST31E8T, who says, can you please explain the differences between wild cubes and cube cards by Kev G? Yeah, absolutely. So cube card, well, the big difference is Ryland's cards are set up with the Cube 3 mix, the Brundwich mix, while Kev's weren't. Kev's are based on Takemiza Sui. And I always wanted to do cube cards, but I always used to struggle to switch between Brundwich and Takemiz. So that's a big difference right there. The main difference is it's a deck of cards, obviously. The routines are different. Now, first of all, on Ryland's behalf, I contacted Kev G before it was released and asked for his permission, because when Ryland showed me the routine, I was like, that's really cool. It's a little bit like cube cards. It's different because it's a packet trick. It's quite different, but there are similarities. And I went to Kev and I explained what it was, and Kev gave permission for Ryland to release it, which was great. But cube cards was a bigger thing. It was a whole deck of cards, while wild cubes is a wild card. It's designed as a wild card, as a packet trick. And it's not the whole deck. And therefore the moves that are used in order to do the routine are different. The other thing is you're using the timing force. My timing force is used in wild cubes in order for them to stop at a particular point on the cube. So the whole idea is you're doing this, you're having them apparently mix up the cube and stop whenever you want to. You're having them pick a card and then the two match. And then you've got the wild card sequence. And because you've got the cube in the position you want it, you finish off with the shake solve, which is also put in there with my permission. And then there's a load of other routines on the project as well. There's a Monty and a whole bunch of different stuff as well. But that's the big difference. The actual mix, and more importantly, the fact that it's a package, the wild card. It's basically wild card with pictures of Rubik's Cubes as opposed to being a whole deck thing. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so the next question is TV Elliot, who says, Craig, if a magician teaches their routine, patter included, how do you feel about using that presentation verbatim? If somebody wants to, that's fine. I'd recommend not. I'd recommend taking the trick and changing it to fit your character. I was talking to Matt about this the other day. I've seen so many magicians where they literally just copy someone's patter. They'll start by doing a routine just like Bill Malone would, because they learned it from Bill Malone DVD. Then they'll do a routine like Jay Sankey. Then they'll do one by Richard Sanders. And it's kind of really weird. It's disjointed. They haven't got their own personality or their own character. They're kind of just a tribute act to a whole bunch of different magicians. And look, if that's what you want to do, if you're a hobbyist and you just want to perform magic, there's nothing wrong with that. I've always tried to make it fit my character and change the presentation or the trick around to fit me, because that's what I prefer to do. I prefer it to fit my character. There's certain tricks in the past that I've bought that I didn't like, but by changing it around to fit me, I've actually improved. I've actually preferred it, right? So I think that's something that's worth noting. But yeah, look, people are more than allowed to do it. I mean, they've bought the trick, they've been given permission, but I would advise people to make an effort into changing it around as much as they can. Okay, the next question is by Jack Magic, who says, Craig, I'd love to hear your favourite tricks using a signed card. Would love to hear your thoughts. Well, you're in for the right thing. 22nd of December, mark that date in your diary. I have a super long video going up as part of my Christmas celebration, which is a very long video, and it's my 10 favourite card tricks with a signed card, and it's full performances of all 10 of the routines. So that's been filmed, and I think it's been edited at the moment by Michael. So 22nd of December, look out for that. That's happening. So the next question is from RDG Tex, who says, after an extended hiatus from Magic for close to 2 decades, upon my routine, I found myself purchasing new Magic to learn the secret. Many of these early purchases ending up in the bottom drawer. I don't recall when I first heard you say this, but I paraphrase, what good is this crap? So you can yada 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 with a yada yada. But what problem does it solve? It's just crap that goes nowhere. Ever since that time, I've not purchased a magic trick without keeping this in mind. This has resulted in investing in more utility-based magic and books. Although I still buy new magic when it's released, I'm less inclined to do so once I realise the secret is less important than the purpose of the trick serves. Thank you, and I've changed the way I approach purchasing magic today. I've noticed that you practice what you preach. A lot of the magic you release is more utility-based. For the most part, the magic you release branches off in multiple directions with lots of room for improvisation and personal growth for the magician. If you could have pulled me aside 10 or 15 years ago before your influence on Magic TV, what additional advice would you give someone like me who failed at times chasing secrets that led to me nowhere? First of all, thank you, and that's a great comment, and I really appreciate it. I would say perform, perform, perform. People buy new magic a lot of the time because they don't perform it. They're secret collectors. They buy tricks, they learn the secret, they learn how to do the trick, but they never perform it. They put it away, they learn another secret, they collect secrets. It makes them feel important about themselves because they know a lot, but they don't go and perform. My advice to anybody is that magic is a performance art, and as such we should be going out and performing. For me, my favourite thing in the whole of the world with magic is going out and performing. Even if you kind of like, you know what, I don't really like performing, give it a go, try it out. It's like a drug. You know, the first time I walked on stage, I was nervous as hell, and then I realised I wanted to be doing that for the rest of my life. So go out and perform. Go out and perform, and don't be a secret collector. Yeah, go and buy tricks, absolutely. But go out and perform them, because you're going to become a much better magician if you can know how to perform this stuff. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I could give anybody. Go out and perform, get flight time, because that will make you the better magician. Okay, so the next question is from Matthew Wennell, who says, hi Craig, do you have any book or download recommendations on getting started with stage comedy magic and developing a character? Also, have you seen Piff, the Magic Dragon's book on Vanishing Ink? One, I haven't seen Piff's book at all, and at some point I will get it, but it's not a priority of mine, but I do want to get it. Two, do I have any book or download recommendations? I'm not going to answer that, and the reason is I've got a video coming out soon on 2 videos, one on developing a character and one on the basics of comedy magic. And it's long videos that I've spent a long time put together, and I don't want to kind of give that information away in a Q&A because I know when I start talking I won't be able to stop. So yes, I have got a lot of advice, and I am going to be sharing that with you, but it's probably going to be towards the end of the year or the new year now. I hope that's okay. Next question, Daniel Carter, who says, hi Craig, I'm going to London soon. What magic stuff should I do there? Go see the Magic Circle. Go to Covent Garden and check out all of the amazing magicians at Covent Garden. Go check out the Magic Attic at Covent Garden. Go check out International Magic at Clerkenwell Road, because those guys are fun. Yeah, and go check out all the busking spots. There's really not that much to do with magic these days. All the magic shops have shut down except for International. I love going to Hamleys and checking out the demonstrators in there, because you just see how magic should be done right. The demonstrators for Marvin's Magic in Hamleys are just amazing. But yeah, I mean, a big part for me is Covent Garden. I always make a beeline for Covent Garden because those guys are super fun. Next question is from Jason Staples, who says, what do you think of Wayne Dobson's new book? Knowing Wayne, it's going to be amazing. Haven't seen it yet, haven't read it, ordered it. It's on its way from Vanishing Ink. Knowing Wayne, it's going to be brilliant. Anything that Wayne puts his name to is 100% as far as I'm concerned. Wayne's a great guy, and you know, no one can deny what he has done for this industry and what he has done in his career. And the fact that Vanishing Ink don't just bring books out with anybody, and the fact that they've brought a book out with Wayne Dobson tells you everything that you need to know. Wayne is a legend, and this book is probably going to be amazing, but I won't know until I've seen it, so I'll let you know. Next question, again, is from Jason Staples and says, hey, Craig, it was great to meet you and spend time with you and your family at the Newmarket Shindig. Likewise, Jason. How do you get the confidence to perform? Do you have any advice? Actually, just go out and do it. Look, here's the thing. You can make a million excuses for not going out and performing. I would go out and perform, but I'm nervous. I go out and perform, but this or that or the other. A lot of people that don't go and perform, it's because they're nervous. They're nervous about something. My advice would be, pick a self-working trick. One that can't possibly go wrong, like a cut deeper force. Write a prediction down on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and go out and perform the cut deeper force. Because the cut deeper force, you don't even have to touch the deck. It can't go wrong. Make sure the card's on top and bring out an envelope and say, I've got an envelope here, hold on to it. I've got a deck of cards. You take the cards, cut a small packet, turn it face up, cut deeper, turn it face up, spread through. Could I know the first face down card? No, turn it over. What is it? Look in the envelope. There's no way that that trick can go wrong. A lot of people, they're nervous about going and performing because they're worried about what happens if the trick goes wrong. That's what gives them palpitations. That's what gives them angst and worry. Oh my God, what happens if the trick goes wrong? People are going to know how it works. I'm going to screw it up. Pick a trick, one trick that can't possibly go wrong, and go and perform it. Then when you've done that, and you've performed it a bunch of times to a bunch of people, find another self-working trick that you can't screw up and go and do that. Then another one. All of this is flight time. It's going to give you experience performing to people, doing tricks that you know can't possibly go wrong. And that's going to do two things. It's going to give you confidence. It's going to give you tricks that you know that you can go and boss with. But then it's also going to have that, it's going to ignite a fire in you. When you start performing, you never want to stop. It's like a drug. So go out and find a self-working trick. Go out and do it. Look at the reactions. Then get another self-working trick. Before you know it, you've got a 15-minute act of self-working tricks that you know can't go wrong. String that together into a little act. Go and do that act. Go and do that act. And then maybe throw something in that doesn't, maybe it's, you know, a little bit more technically demanding or something, or a little bit more worrisome. Throw that in the middle. So if it does go wrong, it's top and tail by the stuff that you know is going to work. And before you know it, you're going out and performing. You're basically cheating yourself into going out and performing. You're resetting your brain. That's what you need to do. By asking the question, you've got a desire to go out and perform. So now, go out and do it. There's two people in this world, people that make things happen and people that watch things happen. Don't be somebody who watches things happen. Don't be somebody who sits on the sidelines watching everybody else going and performing and saying, I know how to do that, I could do that. You might be able to do that, but unless you're going out and doing that, it ain't going to happen. Don't be that person. Go out and make things happen. Okay, so the next question is from Archie Cox, who says, hi Craig, really enjoy you talking about your coin project sets. Thank you very much. What else would you recommend for someone starting off in coin magic? Where do I start learning and where do I go from there? 4 resources. Number 1, Alakazam Coin Magic Academy by me, volume 1, 2, 3. Some of the best coin magic with regular coins you'll ever see. 3 volumes available from Alakazam right now. Number 2, the Metal series by Eric Jones. Came out through Illusionist. 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. You're watching a coin master do some of the best coin magic you'll ever see. 3, the New York Coin Guys Symposium DVDs. There's about 15 DVDs. You can get them in a set from Mia Yidid, My Magic. They are brilliant. There is no better way to learn magic than for David Roth, Michael Rubenstein, Jeff Latter, and Mike Gallo. Just simply brilliant. And then finally, the Netrix. We have literally over 400 coin tricks and thousands of coin slides, all meticulously broken down by me. And they're in literally chapter, courses, everything's searchable. So either the Netrix, Alakazam Coin Magic Academy, Metal by Eric Jones, or My Magic, the New York Coin Guys Symposium DVDs. Any of those are incredible. Next one is Pete Booth Magic. When are you coming to Australia? When somebody books me. Get somebody to contact me. Get somebody to organise a tour over Australia and New Zealand, and I will be there in a heartbeat. I would love to go back there. I was there in Sydney when I was like maybe 19, 20, 21 for about 6 months. I love that country. I would love to go back. I'm planning on doing more international lectures. You know somebody who can make it happen in Australia? Get them to hit me up. Next up, Stephen Devereaux, who says, "Hi Craig, wonderful channel as always. Thank you, buddy. What do you think of Profile by David Jonathan and the Nemesis deck by Nick Lacapo? Thanks from South Africa." I love them both. I'm going to be reviewing them very, very soon. I think they're both brilliant. Definitely buy them. Next question is from Jake Keane, who is incredible. Jake has got a lecture coming up, by the way, soon that I'm planning on buying into because Jake is super intelligent, an amazing thinker of mentalism. If you don't listen to the Black Art podcast, please do so because it's an incredible podcast. Jake and Lloyd do an amazing job. But Jake's got a lecture coming up at the beginning of January, and go and check out the Black Art podcast to talk about it. Jake's amazing. Craig, your answer to Angelo's question about choosing production companies was super enlightening. Thank you. Means a lot coming from you especially. As you mentioned lectures this episode, I thought I'd ask you if you have any advice for someone figuring out which affects to teach in a lecture. Any tips on making sure no one's distracted or bored when you're describing the longer and more in-depth process? Cheers. What I would do is I would keep it as succinct as possible. When I first started lecturing, I did very coin-heavy lectures. And I would go into great detail, like, right, okay, this is what you need to do. First of all, you classic palm this. Let me explain how to classic palm. You put the coin here, like, now you're going to deep back clip this. Now you're going to do, and like, there's two types of people in the audience. Those that already know the moves that were bored because I was teaching them, and those who have no idea what I'm talking about. It's way more technically advanced than they wanted to deal with, and everybody was bored. Like, that's not the way to go. Have lecture notes or something downloadable that they can buy into after the lecture, and just be very succinct about it. People go to lectures because they like watching performances and they like learning secrets. A lot of the time when you're doing a lecture, the people who are in the lecture will probably not do that material unless they've bought something that shows them how to do it. It's very hard to go and watch a lecture and remember the whole thing an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours later. It's almost impossible. Right? So unless they've bought the lecture notes or whatever it may be, they're probably not going to do it anyway. And if they like the material, they're going to buy the lecture notes anyway. So don't go too in depth over it. People like performances, people like learning secrets. So, hey, I'm going to show you guys a trick now. This is an amazing trick. It's a trick with a coin. And look, I put the coin in my hand. I make the coin disappear. Right? That's the trick. Now, let me teach you how it works, guys. So you're going to need a coin. Any coin will work for this. And you're going to do something that I call a retention pass. Now, the idea is that you're going to pretend to put the coin in the hand, but not really. It looks like it's going in the hand. This is what it looks like when it goes in the hand. But really, you're not putting it in the hand. Really, you're holding it back here. All you do is you put it here, you extend your fingers a little bit, and you pull it back. People don't see that because you're closing this hand, right? And that's how it works. But now look at this. You see the coin, you put it in the hand, it looks like it vanishes. Now you can bring it back because it's hidden in this hand. Now, obviously, you'd never do that in a lecture because everybody knows how to do a retention pass. But that's the level of teaching that you want to have. Right? You don't want to I could spend 20 minutes talking about the psychology of doing a retention pass. Danny Goldsmith could spend an hour and a half talking about the psychology of a retention pass. But doing that will make people switch off. Once they understand the secret, they don't care about the finger positioning. They don't care about the nuances. They'll buy the whatever it is that you're selling in order to get that. They're now switching off. To keep their interest, you move on to the next trick. So it can be very, very simple. You can say, hey, that's how it's done. Now, anybody who wants me to go through it with them a little bit later, I'm more than happy to. It's also in my lecture notes, but I've got a lot of material to share with you. Who'd like me to perform another trick? Great. Okay, this is called apparition, whatever it may be, right? So that's what you want to do. That's the way that you want to go with this. Perform the trick, give them but don't do that thing that I did when I first started, which is go massively in depth. Unless you're booked to do like a 6-hour masterclass where you're breaking all of this stuff down, nuance by nuance. Teach the trick, give them the secret, give them a very simple overview, move on to the next trick. Stack it up. That's what I did at Vanishing Ink. When I did the Session Magic Convention and I was lecturing at the Session Magic Convention, a lot of people said they loved my lecture. I just I just went trick, because a lot of the lectures at the session are kind of more psychology based and they get really in depth about one particular thing. I was like, here's a trick, here's another trick, here's another trick, here's another trick, here's another trick. And honestly, I think that's the way to do it. Okay, so next question is again from Andy Putt, who says, now you have a Christmas movie project. I have a question. What's your top 3 favorite Christmas movies? Number 1, Die Hard. Number 2, Christmas Chronicles. Number 3, Don't Hate Me, The Holiday. I cry every single time. Freaking love The Holiday. But I'm also quite partial to the first Santa Claus. After that, it went a bit shit, but the first one was amazing. Oh, and the Muppets Christmas Carols. How can I forget the Muppet Christmas Carols? Next question is from Andy Putt. What's your favourite playing card? Not deck, but a card like the 5 of Hearts or something. Ace of Diamonds. Love the Ace of Diamonds. That's my favourite card. One last question from Andy Putt. What do you think about Randy Orton and CM Punk being back in the WWE? Do you have any predictions or dream matches involving one of them? I think it's amazing. I know there's a lot of controversy about CM Punk, but I do think that with the structure in place in the WWE, with Vince no longer being as involved as he was, with Triple H being at the helm, and with it having more of a corporate structure, I don't think he's going to be able to get away with some of the stuff that he did get away with in AEW. I know a lot of people have said, oh, it's going to end badly. I think everybody deserves a second chance. So I think CM Punk being back is great, and you could tell that from the pop that he received at Survivor Series. Randy Orton is amazing. It's so good. I think both of those men are going to be involved in WrestleMania main events. I think that Randy Orton is going to be facing off against Roman Reigns, perhaps in a triple threat match with Cody Rhodes. I think they could insert him into it as well. And I think CM Punk is going to be going after Seth Rollins for the title at WrestleMania. I think that CM Punk is probably going to get a title, maybe one more title, and then he's going to kind of be in a kind of cementing his legacy, cementing his place in the Hall of Fame, and rising up future legends and stuff like that. But that's my opinion. What do I know? I'm not a wrestling pundit. Okay, so the last question is from Sour Citrus Fruits, who says, started off learning rubber band magic with Hanson's Touch full download. It seems like a lot of rubber band tricks involve setup. How do you do this in front of spectators? Quick hands or patter? Look at some of the Dan Harlan stuff. A lot of the finicky setups are more advanced. And that's stuff that you absolutely can do in front of a real world, and maybe I'll do a video on rubber band magic at some point and talk to you about how to do that sort of stuff. But it is absolutely possible, but you need to, it's kind of like with card magic. You wouldn't go straight in with a midnight shift. You'd kind of start with some easy stuff when you're learning magic, and then you'd get to that level after a while. Start with some of the stuff by Dan Harlan, some of the old school magic. Start with stuff like Crazy Man's Handcuffs. Start with stuff like the ladder, up the ladder thing. Start with some of Dan Harlan stuff, then maybe move on to Joe Rhinefleisch, and then perhaps Hanson Chen, Russell Leeds, those sort of guys. That's what I would do. So there you go, guys. That's another video in the bag. That is another video. Now, don't forget to stick around, because this evening we will have another, that's right, we will have another review show special right here on Magic TV. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Now, I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another video. I'm going to be back at 6 o'clock with a video. I'm going to be back at 9 o'clock tonight with another video. And I've mentioned it a couple of times, but don't forget to subscribe to the Netrix, www.thenetrix.com, for all of your magic needs. And then finally, make sure that you leave a comment down below. I want to hear all of your questions for next week. Thanks once again for watching. Thanks once again for listening. Have a great day. My name's Craig from Magic TV.